All right, it is the DNVR Avs pod, and the day after a very nice overtime victory. Welcome inside the Toyota Lounge, presented by your Front Range Toyota dealers. Of course, Toyota, big sponsor, helping us out. Love the Toyota Lounge here at the DNVR bar above Colfax. Biggie, Rudo standing by, Tiffany working the dials, and we got our man Dan. This is going to be a fun one today. We're going to talk a little bit about a revolutionary product in hockey that I don't know, frankly, what took so long to figure out, because this is something that I've dealt with as a player forever and ever and ever. You certainly did. You've got kids that now play. We'll get to that in just a sec. Dan, stoked to have you with us here.
Yeah.
What a hockey game last night, though, first and foremost for the Colorado Avalanche. We'll get into that a little bit more coming up, but just let me get your thoughts on just you've had less than 24 hours to sort of redux the win, but it's a big victory for the Avalanche over a divisional rival. And they just, for me, the word that I think we got to keep using with this team is resilience.
Yeah, I go back to that win 4 games ago against Utah.
Yeah.
Right? If you remember, they're on a little bit of a skid there. I think it was 3 or 4 in a row. And they lose that one, it would have been disastrous, because let's say it was 3 in a row. I'm trying to remember. And then it would have made it 4. Then you go into Winnipeg, Carolina, right? You know what I mean? 2 tough games. Next thing you know, you're at 6. So that game was a pivotal game for me. Mm-hmm. They win that one. They break the losing streak. Then they go and play a wonderful game in Winnipeg. Their best game of the year, even though they didn't get the W. It was their best game of the year, no doubt about that. I think everybody felt good about it. And then they come home against Carolina and then obviously get that big win, which carries on to their win last night to make it 2 in a row, 4-game homestand. You got to look at the positives. You got to look at the short-term goals. I'm a firm believer you need short-term goals in hockey, within the room, within the group. And I do believe that their homestand right there, they're like, okay, let's win with the group that we have right now. And I want to hear about Val and Joe Druin and Wood and whoever's coming back soon. Let's win games right now because we're on the right path. And that's exactly what they did the last 2 games, especially last night as well, against a divisional opponent, Nashville Predators, that was struggling, obviously coming in, having won their last game, but having lost 4 out of 5. I think it was important for the Avs to come in and stomp on their throat, and maybe they pushed them down. You don't want to, you don't care about playoffs in November, but it sure feels nice to know that you're in a playoff position. You know what I mean? Where you know that we've all said it all summer long with the handcuffs that were put on that team. Again, we're not going to go back to why. The first 20 games, if they could just stay afloat, you know what I mean? I think it was going to be important. And I think that's exactly where they're at right now.
Good one. We'll talk more about that game in depth later. It's funny, you being in the locker room now, and of course the Avalanche room just gets remodeled. And you get a look inside these rooms, and it's changed so much since when you played to now. They got ventilation system. I know the room in Los Angeles, the Kings coming in, they've got a system that, we'll get to know more about it, but does what your bag does. They seal that room, and they blast it with heat to sort of disinfect everything. But let's talk a little bit about 43-degree hockey and what you're bringing to the forefront, not only for technology, but the health of a player, because it's not just the physical things. It's, the fact that you're putting on this sweat-soaked gear, every other day. And let's be honest, a lot of guys don't necessarily air their stuff out. And that causes problems.
Yep. Yeah, we feel that it's been way too long in hockey that everyone's just said, oh, it smells terrible, it's probably dangerous, but what can we do? It's just hockey. It's just part of it, But why your equipment smells so bad is because it has millions and millions, if not billions, of harmful odor-causing bacteria particles in there that are just constantly breeding, and you're adding more and more to it every single time you put your gear on. And when you're airing it out, you're not killing that bacteria, And so every time you put it on and every time you pour more sweat into it, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse until you got that guy in the locker room that everyone's just slowly sliding further and further away from.
I know some beer leaguers. I'm not going to name names. Slow down. Don't panic. I won't name names. There's no list coming out. But I know some beer leaguers that they play and they leave their bag in their trunk, you know what I mean? Like that once a week. And then I can only imagine what's living in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is gross. It grosses me out. And I know that sometimes when kids get to be teenagers, they think like it's cool to be like the stinky guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not cool, to be honest with you. And I just think that, again, we'll talk about it a little more, but my youngest Ty is like loving it. And I have my story, and I'll tell you a nice story, Avalanche, pertinent to something like this. And I think I've told you before, but I think it's important. And, I'm glad that, again, first of all, you're a Denver product in the sense that you played youth hockey here and friend of the show, Tony Granado's kids, right? Grew up with Dom and Mikey and those guys, and what a great, wonderful family.
Yeah.
Tony listens all the time, so I'm sure he's going to be excited.
He's the best.
So tell us a little bit how you got into it, and then let's dig more a little bit about, what the bag
the technology, how it works.
So, like you mentioned, I'm a Colorado native, but I don't come from a hockey family. I come from a skiing and snowboarding classic Colorado family. But like so many other people, when the Avs came here and they immediately won the cup, I caught the bug as a kid and was begging my parents to go buy me skates and get skating lessons so that I could learn how to play, So the inception of 43 Degrees started when my equipment started to smell so bad that my dad would strap my bag to the roof of the car when we were driving to the rink because, again, not a hockey family. They didn't know how to deal with it. I would buy my mom air fresheners for Christmas in order to make the house smell better because it would even come in through the garage. So we've been 20-plus years in the making, and we are now excited to have a patented product that heats up the contents of the bag hot enough to a minimum of 43 degrees Celsius, which I know E, but for our Americans out there, it's around 109 Fahrenheit.
Oh, wow.
Which kills 96%.
You lost them already.
Yeah, too many numbers. So it heats just like a fever in your body, heats the bag up hot enough to kill odor-causing bacteria. So you leave it in there overnight, it kills 96% of the bacteria that's living in your pads. It dries the pads out, it sanitizes them, and it completely eliminates all of that horrible, disgusting hockey smell that not only players have to deal with, but teammates and families and parents. And the best part for families and parents, and not just the player themselves, is that the bag is a completely self-contained system, so that the only air that can escape the bag is the air that's been sanitized. So it's perfect for tournaments in hotel rooms or dorm rooms or apartments. If you don't have anywhere to put your gear, you're always going to have sanitized, dry equipment, and you're never, ever going to smell hockey ever again.
Listen, if you are a hockey player or you've been around hockey gear, this is a no-brainer. I mean, this would have relieved so many issues at my house growing up with my parents as well, too. But there is no necessarily, and we're talking gloves and stuff, too, right?
Yeah,
like
everything.
the worst.
Gear,
Yeah, the bag's designed so that, another pain point in hockey is we all have that nightmare from airing your equipment out that you have a big game, you get to the rink, and you're missing a skate or you're missing something in your bag and you can't play. But our product, you leave all your equipment in the bag all the time so that it lives in the bag, it's always clean, and you never have that problem of airing your stuff out and forgetting a vital piece of equipment at home. Your stuff's always in the bag, it's always ready to go, and you can also preheat your equipment. So you turn your bag on an hour before you go to the rink, and it warms your stuff up so that, especially if you're playing ice hockey or in a cold weather area in Canada, Minnesota, somewhere like that, you're putting on warm, broken-in equipment. Your skates feel like you just baked them. The leather in the palms of your gloves is soft and broken in. And as E knows that, especially for goalies, I've really been having tons of success with them.
So you have a goalie bag size?
Right now, it is the single bag.
Okay.
Most goalies, don't put their leg pads inside the bag anyway.
Right.
So as long as you don't do that, everything easily fits.
Wow.
We will have a goalie bag with wheels and all that stuff on the way. But right now, it's just the one bag. You leave your leg pads out. and you preheat your stuff, and it does wonders for the goalie's glove. Our goalies are calling it butter glove, where you put it in there and it just snaps closed and open way faster than it ever would. Even if it's a new glove, you can really help the break-in process of preheating it and then working that glove in. And, we all know goalies. We've seen some with Georgiev recently. It is all about confidence. It's very mental. And if you can preheat your gear so that you feel comfortable, confident from the first puck drop every time, you're going to play your best hockey.
Well, here's what I'll add to it. Dan's been gracious enough to my youngest my youngest son, Ty, that plays high school hockey in Boston. I'll tell you one thing. He loves it. I love it because I always talk about it like how you got to, wash your stuff. And I'll tell you one thing. It's like to a T. He knows that, he comes home, he puts it on the gauge of the low, whatever. So it's like overnight, whatever, which is not dangerous. It's not going to catch fire, right? All that kind of stuff. And then everything dries up, everything gets sanitized. And then, let's say he doesn't play for a couple days, so then he'll turn it off. But then he'll turn it back on, like he said, maybe an hour before knowing we're leaving. Yep. Then he'll even put it on hot, like the highest setting. And then, by the time you get in the car, you drive to the rink, it's warm, it's nice. And especially those early morning practices, we all know those, buddy. Oh, yeah. The skates feel good. And I'll tell you, I was laughing the other day because they had a tournament, and then everybody's got the backs, especially it's not winter right now, but everybody has the back of their cars or the pickup trucks, and everybody's got gear everywhere on the grass of the rink and everything. And I'm like, no, you just plug in the back because it's got the, my car's got that plug in anyway. So it's like, you plug it in. He had his gear was right there, no problem. And no issues. And so, it was like so fun and so like, oh my god, and like you said, I think the key is hotel room, buddy.
So talk me through the nuts and bolts of the process of the bag. So he's talking about multiple heat settings. It does need a power outlet, or does it have a battery kind of back up to it too? Like, take me through process of the different settings and like what a routine would be if you owned a 43-degree.
Absolutely. So you can see it here on the floor behind us.
Grab that puppy.
You can pull it out here. It is plugged into the power cord behind us, so I don't want to yank that out.
Got it.
But the technology exists with a industrial strength heating pad that wraps around the four long sides of the bag, creating a closed loop of heat in there that allows some movement and some air to circulate while it's sanitizing and drying.
Love it.
But the magic is that tightly woven fibers and the waterproof zipper that we have on the bag only allow the air to escape that's been sanitized.
Right.
So that's why you can do it everywhere. So your routine the bag comes with an extra large mesh laundry bag. So this works great for all your jerseys, your socks, your clothing. If you're in a pinch and on a tournament, you can dry your clothing in the bag, but it just works much more effectively and efficiently if you put the bag, your jerseys, your socks in here, throw this right into the washing machine, and then all you have to do is plug the bag in and turn on the remote and forget about it. You can leave it on for as long as you want or as long as you need, because like E mentioned, I can't name the names of them, but I went down a long road with several of the major hockey manufacturers, and they were concerned about it overheating, causing damage to equipment. So they came back with 180 degrees Fahrenheit was where it's going to hurt the equipment.
There you go. I just want to show it.
But I'm
going to show it to you like.
So then all you do is you just plug it in, you turn it on, and you zip it up, and you leave it. So.
And talk to me real quickly about, and you can get that off of his lap. Talk to me about the three different settings and how like intuitive it is to figure out.
It's extremely straightforward. We really 90+% of the time that you're using the heat settings, you're cranking it all the way up to hot. It has warm, dry, and hot are the three settings. Hot is getting it to the hottest point where it's killing the bacteria most effectively, drying the equipment most effectively. And again, you can't get it too hot, so the only reason that we really wanted to have the lesser temperatures is for preheating. Some people like to preheat their gear so that it's not warm, but you don't want it hot so that you're sweating in the locker room before you go on the ice.
Right.
So then you have that option as well. Then you can preheat it to get it warm. Again, if you're in a cold weather place or you're skating on a frozen pond outside, a lot of times your skates will literally have ice inside of them. You can warm them up, get rid of the ice, but if you don't want it hot, you have that option as well.
It's incredible.
That's what I did. I plugged it in the car the other day, his bag, because it was a longer ride. It was like an hour. Plugged in, got in the rink. It was warm. It was awesome.
Yeah, and again, because the bag is so self-contained, it only loses between 2 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit an hour when it's all zipped up.
So you can do it at the
up.
house if you got a half an hour drive.
Exactly.
Doesn't even matter.
Yep, doesn't matter. So even if you have a long drive to the rink, you're totally fine. And the end pockets on the bag as well do not get hot. So you can keep your wax or you can keep anything in the end pockets that you don't want to get hot, and it's totally fine.
Incredible. Well,
one more part about the components in the makeup of the bag is that the heating element in the technology is easily removable and replaceable, and it comes with a 1-year warranty on it. So that the bag is designed to be durable, long-lasting. If anything goes wrong with the bag, with the heating element, there's a sophisticated chip in the remote that if it senses anything wrong, it's just going to stop working before it causes any issues. So if it goes out in the first year, we'll no questions asked replace the heating element, and outside of the warranty period, you can replace the element for a fraction of the cost of the bag.
do not use the word perfect too often, but that is a perfection of a piece of equipment that I'm assuming will be all over the place in short order. Where's the play to go to in order to if we've got hockey guys out there? How can we get this in hands?
Yeah, so we are actually going to do a giveaway here for all the DNVR listeners of a bag. I think Tiff's going to be running the promo through the rest of the week. You can sign up on there, get yourself a chance to win a free bag. And past that, we're also going to have a DNVR promo code for free shipping, which is a $45 value. You can head over to 43degreesports.com and get yours today. And you can also use Team 43 to get $43 off your first order.
Love it. Last question, because you are a wonderfully bearded man, Scotty Scheffler-esque. What do we think of this goatee right now? We're trying it for Movember, but I need honesty here because I'm not sure. I'm getting mostly positive feedback, but are we...
I like it, but I'm going to say if it's Movember, it's got to be a mustache.
Oh, really?
You got to go. You know, you could leave little handlebars if you're trying to keep it interesting. I'm a mustache over goatee guy.
All right. Well, that might have to happen then. There might have to be a poll for that, Tiff. You might have to come up with something to see if what the viewers think. Dude, thanks much. Dude, epic to have you, and what an incredible product. I wish that was around when I was a kid because my stuff stank badly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and thank you guys, really. I've been a fan of this show since AJ's been doing it on BSN, and I've been a diehard since day one. So really awesome to be able to come on here and hopefully share this wonderful product with all the amazing Avs fans and DNVR fans.
And hey, that's the other cool thing. We talk a lot about, connectivity and family and hockey being a family. That's family. Diehard from day one, part of the podcast, part of the family, part of the hockey family. So not only does he have an incredible product that's going to help you, but we as a hockey family can do incredible things and help this awesome company rock and roll because that's what we do in hockey. So if you are a hockey player, there's absolutely, literally zero reason you don't have this in your hands. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Great to be here.
So cool.
Thanks, E.
We'll see you around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely love it. That's what we're talking about. And not only are we talking about how awesome the diehards are, but get part of another inner circle. Be part of the Circle K inner circle. You need snacks. You need the Red Bulls. You need all the things when you're going on a road trip because you got your 43-degree bag in the back and you're heading down to the hockey rink. You want to load up with some sodas and some Gatorades and all that stuff. Well, you can get a discount because the Circle K membership is free. And the app is easy to download. All you have to do is enter your email and phone number to be fully enrolled. After that, just use your phone number to get deals. And there are deals every day on food, drinks, and more. You can sign up for the Inner Circle with the Circle K app and receive 25 cents off per gallon of your next 5 fill-ups of gas. Download the Circle K app and sign up for the Inner Circle for exclusive offers. New offers, purchase clubs, and sweepstakes are uploaded weekly.
Always fun. Always fun going to Circle K. It's funner when you have more money to spend.
Oh, yes.
And you can get more money to spend by getting yourself with Bet365 and winning a couple of bets. Make sure you jump on with Bet365. Oh, wait, is Bet365 our starting sponsor? Did Tiff bait me?
Yeah, I love Bet365, and we should talk about Bet365.
Do love them. We'll get to them.
But before we talk about Bet365,
instead of Bet365, funnily enough, it still works.
You were going in the right direction, and then you turned on me.
save up some money so you can spend some on Bet365 with Premier Members Credit Union instead, all right? Reverse Tier Money Market is their new account, which can get you 4% APR on your first $2,000 every single month. And then after that, it's still savings all the way down. It's 3% on your next set and so on. So that's all Premier Members Credit Union is trying to do. They're trying to save you money, make you more money.
Make
both.
and save.
To be honest, both. Yeah,
Both.
it's both. So go get with them. They're not a bank. They actually are part of the community. They treat you right, and they want to make sure you are getting your best possible options when it comes to whatever it is you want to do with your money. So if you want to make more money by doing the same things that you're already doing, go to becomepremier.com today. Check them out and get signed up with Premier Members Credit Union right now. We got there.
Way to bring that back around, though, bro.
That's
some teamwork and a
That's the
half.
backup goalie coming in cold on that one for sure.
Teamwork and a half.
Needed my D-men to help me out on that one a little bit. The backup goalie.
You know what? I was trying to get there, and then you started going there, and I was like, "Oh, we're good. Like we're
and
aces."
Then, nope.
And then you reversed on me, and I was like, "Well, it still kind of works." I feel like I haven't been sitting in this chair in forever. I feel like
welcome back to hosting.
Nice.
These homestands. You're the hardest working
Somebody
man
owes
in
me
hockey.
tips. Somebody owes me like a lot of winner shots, by the way.
Yeah, you're owed a few for
Where
sure.
in that? I feel like I'm getting gypped on that end of the deal.
I want to add something else, though. Are we done with the our ads right now? For that part?
Yeah.
Tell your story.
No, yeah, I'll tell a story about Dan and his wonderful bag, their 43 degree bag. I tell you one thing. Yes, in the NHL you are pampered. Yes, they do. Take care of your gear, and yes, it is a big component now on NHL teams. But I got a story back then where we weren't that advanced in cleaning, let alone bags like this. So playing with the Avs in 1998, Adam Bednar.
I was going to say, you're going to tell the Denny story, aren't
One
you?
of my all-time favorite teammates. Awesome dude. Love you, Deddy. I'll tell you one thing. One day he showed up at the rink, and he had a little bit of a cut, from a couple games before in his elbow. Very stupid little, could be a scratch, whatever. Came back, and then that morning he showed up at the rink, and his elbow was like a cauliflower from the grocery store. You know what I mean? It was just, and then it was just like, they rushed him to the hospital. Same thing. He had gotten an infected
because
from
of the dirty gear.
just a dirty elbow pad. You know what I mean? And I know some people wear clothes underneath. I was a guy that wore long sleeve, long socks, long underwear. Some guys wear nothing. So it's important. I mean, it happens at the NHL level. It happens with all that. And that's why we were a match made in heaven, Dan and I, because my kids have always been so on them since they were little about, you got to wash your stuff. And this is just absolutely fantastic. So Denmarsh, NHL level, it can happen to a squirt, peewee, bantam kid level. So very important product, very cool. It was great to have it. And I just wanted to tell the Denmarsh story because what I'm trying to say is it happens at every level. And I'm sure, again, those are the ones that I know. I'm sure at all the beer league levels, it happens all the time. Like I said, that dude, my buddy, that keeps his bag in the back of his car, not good. Not good.
Not good?
Not good.
Like on a scale of 1 to not good, are we talking?
The smell's not good.
Yeah, it's bad.
So anyway, I just want to add Deddy's story there.
Bad. I know a couple people that should probably crawl in that bag. On the low setting, not the 109 setting. No, I don't think 109 will kill you. Maybe it will. I probably should stop there. Lawsuits are coming. Canceled. That went quick for me. No, it's awesome.
It was nice knowing you.
It is an incredible product. I mean, there's nothing like the stink of a hockey glove. And listen, a lot of people don't get their new stuff all the time, right? I know a lot of guys that do change gear out, but no matter what, if you can reduce the chance of you getting sick or an infection because of your gear, do it.
Look, I think you guys are way under the selling your gear just gets to be warm when you get to the rink.
That is also the
you know,
biggest actual thing. I'm cool with the disinfecting side of it, but to put on warm skates and gloves.
Rudo's I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
He's in his warm up, I feel it.
Yeah, I was telling that story the other day. My mom used to take me to this rink in Michigan, and it was called the Brownstown Ice Palace. And it was in Brownstown. And it was, to this day, the coldest hockey rink I've ever stayed in. Your toes are smoked before you even put your skates on. Hockey players are very much about getting naked, but I probably put gear on over my winter coat and snow pants when I was 13, 14.
Don't need to warm up if you're already warm. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah. See, Smarter, not harder. Rudo, we talked a little bit about the game last night. I just want to sort of revisit it again. There's a couple of things in my game story that I posted last night, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I'm giving a lot of credit to the resilience of this team, and I saw the question about Miles Wood and Drouin possibly coming back. Maybe. We'll get to them in a second. But I'm giving a lot of credit to Bednar keeping the trains on time and on the tracks over this period, because it has been resilient. He has been steadfast. And the result last night, I feel like he gets a little bit of credit, a lot of credit for that, actually.
Yeah, I think a lot of people undersell what Bednar does for a team with what the Avs are dealing with. And look, Bednar can't go out and play the games. He doesn't have control over that. He can only sort his lines out and give them the best possible opportunity to win. And the forward core, to a certain extent, is what it is. But where I think Bednar has really excelled this season is managing his defense. You look at someone like Sam Girard scoring a game-winning goal in overtime because you threw that guy out there. Not with Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen for him to play third banana. He throws Sam Girard out there with Logan O'Connor and Yoel Kiviranta in overtime.
Who's the third banana there?
That's
No,
what
I'm just kidding.
Sam Girard's the first banana of those three, is my point. He understands how and when to use his defense. He has a very good hand for recognizing when a defenseman is having a tough night and elevating somebody else up the lineup, whatever that might be. And night in and night out, Bednar has always, the forward core stuff, he generally likes to go best on best. But with his defense, he plays to the situation and gets the most out of them.
For me, I'll add the experience, right? The
Yeah.
experience of having been through all those games and this core group, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to managing who's out there, like you said in that instance. But also on the flip side of things, it just seems like the last 8-9 years as he's been the coach, it's always been a big deal of injuries, a big rash of injuries. And I think it comes with experience, control your emotions. I used to work with the Avs, and I got to be honest with you, forget as a player. As a player, sometimes you're like this, like, oh, an opportunity for me, But in management, you're like, are you kidding me? Like, we lost another one? Like, honestly, like, it is so frustrating. And you can't control it. And I'll tell you one thing, as a coach, you can only... I'll use your line. You can only play the game that's in front of you. Well, you can only coach the players that are in front of you on the bench.
Yep.
You can't hope that, Joe Sakic is back and playing. He's not. He's retired. You can't hope that this guy's, he's been traded. This guy's hurt. So you can't coach that way, because if you coach that way, you're coaching on hope, and it doesn't exist. And I think somebody asked him the question yesterday about, doesn't that feel great to see the, so-and-so skate, so-and-so skate? And he's like...
It's like, I've been watching him skate for 2 years.
Skate every, like Gabe. He's like, no offense to Gabe, I've been watching him for 2 years skate. Like, okay, great. I can't worry about that.
Yep.
And that is a frame of mind. That is a mindset. That is a culture that's been instilled in there for a few years now. I think that's where he gets a lot of credit for me.
I like all of that. I think you're spot on. I think he's been calm through this whole thing. I think he's been terse when he needs to be. I think he's been short when he's need to be. And I imagine, not having been in the room, but I can guess that he's very direct with that group when he also needs to be. I feel like he's kind of a player's coach, where they like him and they want to talk to him and they trust him and they respect him and they want to go through fire for him. And I think that's kind of showing. I think that's showing on the resilience of the group. But the defense has been a significant bright spot for this group over the course of the last few games,
and
the first part of the season.
How many coaches get this team to 500 with the injuries they've gone through? It's probably more than just Bednar, but less than 10 in the NHL.
Not a
have
ton.
the Avs at this point. Not that you shouldn't be over the moon about being 500, but given the Avs situation, you feel pretty okay about it.
And the goaltending, let's not be honest. Let's not be scared. The first 5-6 games was atrocious. It wasn't average. It was bad.
Yep.
So on top of that, you know what I mean? Like, name me a good goalie, I'll name you a good coach, right? I mean, that's just the way it works. But you're right with your assessment right there. Is there many? Yeah, maybe a handful. Maybe a handful. No more than that.
Well, again, we've talked about this before, but it takes a solid foundation in order to find success and the thing that you're looking for. And a good foundation for the Colorado Avalanche coming into the season has led them to be in good shape and look really good, despite the losses in their roster. And that comes from consistency, and that comes from having the right things at the right time. And that's really kind of what Empire today does as well with their flooring and what they bring to the table, because you get that shop at home convenience, you get the right product for your needs, it's quick and professional installation, and it's got that price match guarantee. So you're literally going to the place to get the absolute best of whatever it is that you need for your home flooring needs. I just picked up a new couch the other day. It's definitely time to change the carpeting.
There you
I've
go.
been thinking about hardwoods. When I got the couch, I was thinking in advance about what Empire can do, because they do have that technology where you can see your space and virtually apply all of the things that you want to do so that you can make sure that the flooring or the carpet or whatnot matches the decor in the house. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutions. There's a lot of people out there who try to be like Empire today, but you're just not getting the same thing. You're not getting the quality. You're not getting the professionalism. You're just not getting what Empire today can provide. Schedule a free home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off of a discount when they use promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/DNVR for details.
Jump on it. Cale Makar, probably the flooring, the foundation of the Avs, the thing to build on top of. Mikko Rantanen, he's the ice-cold Coors Light you drink on your couch once you're done moving in
Yes,
on top
he
of the
is.
floor. So go get yourself an ice-cold Coors Light. It's the beer literally made to chill. The mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can to let you know it's ice-cold and ready to drink. Kind of the opposite of the bag. You got the cooling technology and the heating technology.
Everything's a yin and yang
Goes
in
one
life,
and
Fruto.
one.
You have to have balance.
Think about it. You could use the bag. You don't have to wash your gear off the same way. You can drink a Coors Light while it's heating in the bag.
However, if you're partying after your big beer league championship and are soaked in ice cold Coors Light,
you might want to wash
and
that
you
off.
need to get that all cleaned and disinfected, you just throw it in the bag. They go hand in hand, really.
It works either way. Make sure you're getting in with Coors Light, and you can get it delivered right to your front door with CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Thanks to Instacart. Of course, it's the beer made to chill. It's what I drink on watch along. It's what I'm going to be drinking on our takeover on Friday. Go get with them. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please drink responsibly.
Well, I mean, you guys are getting better in transition. Like, you guys
We
are
are.
like in the American
Yeah.
Hockey League. You're like where the Eagles are. You guys are getting better at transition.
Does that make you and Pee Wees or what?
No,
Wait,
me and
wait,
AJ are like, we're the Avalanche.
Oh,
We're the best transition team in the league. But you guys are getting better. You guys are getting up to there. Your transition game's good. I mean, it's getting there. You might get a call up soon.
I feel like that. I feel like we scored in overtime right there. And that
guys
first
are
one, we rebounded
I
real.
have to say, those are a Hall of Fame weekend this weekend. Those are Hall of Fame transitions.
Yeah, I thought so.
You guys
too.
are
They're
awesome.
pretty good. I mean, I'm pumping my own tires. I was just about to tell Dan he should probably reach out to Coors Light and have some kind of like a conjunction with both. I mean, tie that
Yeah,
in.
heat and chill. I can't think of a good slogan. But
I don't know. We'll leave that to the experts.
There you
I mean,
go.
They're
There you
there.
go.
They're out there. The Avalanche obviously knew that we were going to have to make a decision goaltending wise here
Yep.
at some point. Today they did. I feel bad a little bit for KK because I feel like he was maybe a pawn in the game of life for motivating goaltenders here in Colorado, but such is the business of hockey. They put him on waivers. He would go ahead and be reclaimed by Winnipeg.
Results-driven business. At that time, goalies struggling in the Avalanche. Is it a knee-jerk reaction? Whatever. I don't know what it was, but it doesn't matter. They claimed them. And if it was only, we'll never know the real reason, but if it was only to get those two guys going, then mission accomplished, because the two guys since then have gotten going. Again, the NHL is not about juice boxes. No pun intended to juice. But it's not about cut up fruit and like little cakes and little hugs. It's a cruel game, and you know what? Kaapo Kähkönen didn't really get a shot here. We all know that. I still like him. I still think that I would have liked to see more of him, but it's life. You're not going to keep three, and the two of them got going and move on.
So does this put the goaltending? Does this put the goaltending conversation to rest?
No, it doesn't. It puts who's the two right now to rest.
Yeah.
You know, I think you had Anna and Georgiev both turned a corner in their games to the point of, okay, they're playable. Georgiev's had a couple of great games. He's also had a bunch of bad ones. If this hockey team is serious about being a Stanley Cup contender, 2 weeks does not put a goalie conversation to rest. You need a guy in there who you believe can win you a Stanley Cup. I don't believe either of those guys in there right now are that guy. I think the Avs organization probably doesn't believe it either. But who knows? Goaltending is one of those positions where Georgiev could play unbelievable for the next 6 months, and it wouldn't surprise me because it's just a streaky position. But based on the mountain of evidence we have a starting goaltender who is streaky at best and a backup goaltender who we just don't know enough about when it comes to situations like the playoffs.
Well said. The only thing I'll add is they're both performing well right now, which is great. Because again, people think I wish harm on one of them. I don't. Harm meaning on results. I don't. But I do believe, and I'll stick to my line from September. I won't say it right now. I don't want to cause a crap storm, but I'll stick to my line that I said in September. So
I tend to agree with you.
Oh, you can say it again.
No, I just do believe that the person that played the first game wasn't going to be the person that played the last game this year.
Yep.
So
they got some things to do. They've got some things to think about and work on. I am always the glass half full positive guy, but I'm also a call it as it is when it comes to hockey. And you can love me or hate me for it, and frankly, I do not care. The bottom line is that this team struggled at the very beginning, and the reason was the goaltending. So for whatever reason, they've righted that ship. They're getting a balanced effort now from everybody, including the goaltenders for the most part. There was a lot of moments of, last night. I'm like, whoa, yeah, okay, all right, that'll work. I mean, that wasn't really all right, we'll go with that. It's fine. Good job. But at the end of the day, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And then, at the end of the day, the Avalanche came away with a win, so I'm not going to knock any, I won't knock anything in that regard. But big credit to a couple of the defensemen that had some game-saving plays.
Yep.
Who was it? The one guy.
He's got two last names, I think.
The one guy that got a stick in there at the defenseman.
Sandy Souza Lynch.
No, that isn't it.
Wrong era.
No.
We've got 43-degree hockey here. He wears 44.
44. That was the one. Calvin Don. That was the one. Calvin Don. But listen, I'm happy for those guys to get that win. You can see the lightness in the group too. Like we were in the locker room today after practice. So it's a lot of. There's not the room isn't thick. There's not the heaviness in there. I think everybody's got a little bit more relaxed.
Winning cures all. Yeah. It does.
Must be nice.
Let's talk a little bit. We'll kind of talk about. I know you want to talk about primary assists as well. We'll get to that in a second. Before that, let's just address the other elephant in the room. Miles Wood and Jonathan Drouin were not in red jerseys today. However, it was an optional skate that was heavily participated in. Miles looks good. Drouin looks good. Not able to talk to them after the skate, just in case you're wondering, because they are still technically in the red jerseys. How soon will we see them back? No idea. And nobody knows. It's day to day for both of them right now. We ask every time, and I'm sick of asking. Bednar's sick of getting asked, but I don't quite know what the timeline is. I really don't, and I don't think they do either.
I think Bednar addressed it in the presser, right?
We have that. We'll get it to you in a second.
I think you do see him at some point here shortly. I think you need a couple bang-up practices, meaning like just see how you feel. But I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see them Friday.
Okay.
I mean,
that would be a hell of a day on Friday.
Yeah, could be the big return.
You got the takeover. You've got Nichushkin back. You throw.
That's Dr. Google talking.
You throw. I checked Google once. I had a headache, and it told me it'd be my last.
Yeah.
So, but I get it. Listen. Holy smokes! You get all those guys back against the Washington Capitals.
Yep.
Bye, Washington. See ya. Somebody asked, what would the chemistry be like? How long will it take for them to get the chemistry back in the Toyota chat? Instantly, they're in the room. They're skating with the guys. It's not.
No, it's more personally like to get your timing back.
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's not chemistry.
I think
That's-
when that question gets asked, people kind of forget. Jonathan Druin and Nathan McKinnon have been playing together their entire lives. Miles Wood, Ross Colton, and Logan O'Connor were the best third line in hockey last year. Yes, in this season they might not have played together very much, but there's chemistry that goes beyond that for these hockey players where maybe it takes a period for them to adjust back to game speed and get back into it, but the players themselves, it does not take a whole lot of time for them to do it together like they have been. So never something I worry too much about until someone gets hurt and then the lines get jumbled again and everything's a mess. But that's hockey. Let me get a little cynicism in there. I got to get a little bit.
No, Rudo.
It wouldn't be a DNVR show if I wasn't a little cynical, all right?
Here's the newspaper. Do you ever rolled up newspaper? I'll spank him on the nose. That'll work. Oh, nice catch with your... So many things happen there. Nice catch with your legs. I got to wrap it up. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like
This would have been... No. No. You know dogs.
Yep.
Might have a furry guest on Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Ooh, Swisher. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine with these guys coming back in, and then what? I mean, there's really the only one sort of kind of left out there is the question mark on 92.
Yeah.
And I don't. There's no timeline on that. There won't be.
No, I'm leaving that one alone.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
For your own mental health,
Let's leave it.
take it seriously when he joins a real practice.
Yes.
Until then, just
Don't-
stop thinking about
Right.
it. It's a problem you can
Right.
approach in February when it matters for the Avs cap of the trade deadline. Until then,
Right.
stop thinking about it.
Well said.
All right, moving on. Primary assists versus secondary assists. The difference, the reason, the importance. Talk to me, almighty Lacroix.
Well, you know, I'm French, so
No.
I like Rudo to give the explanation a little bit better than I will.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I wanted to talk about this because I think it's interesting. First of all, the NHL is the only sport of the big major ones that even award secondary assists. You don't, in basketball, you have the primary assists, but they're pretty stingy with them. Baseball assists are a defensive stat. Football, same thing. It's you assist with tackles. Even something like soccer, you only really give a primary assists award to plays that lead directly to goals. In hockey, you have a secondary assist that is interesting because I hear a lot of people talk about how a lot of secondary assists are not meaningful points. It's a thing in the advanced analytics as well, where primary assists are given more weight. And generally, I think that's true. But especially when you look at a team that is built the way the Avalanche are, I think you need to put a little bit more weight into secondary assists. Not because, sometimes there's still going to be cheap ones that McKinnon passes it to Makar up high and Makar gives Mikko the one-timer. McKinnon didn't do anything there. It's what it is. But the Avs that play such an aggressive, forward-moving style with defense that get involved in the play and like to break the Avs out aggressively with stretch passes, those secondary assists that are the stretch passes that go up the ice that spring the 2-on-1 are arguably more important than a dude sliding it across for a dude to throw it into an empty net.
I'm glad that you went there. I thought you were going to go the same way of the plus minus with this. I think secondary assists are massively important. I've seen them. I've seen them be almost more impressive and skillful and important than the. I think it's more important than the goal sometimes. The pass.
Well, it's the hard work that was put in behind, right? You know?
Right.
And then there's guys that are notorious for secondary assists in the sense that not in a fluffy way, but in a good way, in a good hard-working way, because they're the ones that dig and create the space and create the turnover. And then the McKinnons of the world or whatever, they get the high-skilled guys, grab the puck and make that play, which is a skill on its own. I mean, obviously, that's what makes you an elite hockey player. But I do believe that you shouldn't forget about the secondary assist. And even last night, watching highlights, I saw Dustin Wolf makes a big, big save, with the Calgary Flames. And puck goes in the corner. Uyghur springs Huberdeau. Huberdeau scores.
Yep.
But that's a big play, and then the goaltender, that's an assist on him. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's awesome. It gives you a little bit of swag, a little bit of confidence. But really, your play behind the scene, underneath the darkness of all, you know what I mean? Like, not the shiny, finish, right? See, the French is coming out. Shakespeare.
Good point in the Toyota
Poetic.
chat there too. Sometimes the best play on it doesn't even get a point.
Correct.
There you go. That's my
100%.
next point. See?
And I like Josh Mo talking about his hockey coach telling you that assists were worth 2 points or should be worth 2 points. I would agree with that also. You know what else I would agree with? And we'll talk more about assists in just a moment, is men's health and being smart about men's health and talking about men's health, because a lot of men are reluctant to do it. I, for a long time, was reluctant as well. And I've been very honest with a few people, including one of my very best friends sitting to the just left of me here. It can be a struggle sometimes. Like, listen, it can be. Like, there's a lot going on. And, one of the things that a lot of people have always said, and somebody more famous than my wonderful father, Guy Gismondi, said, but you got to understand that everybody's going through something and probably fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So it's just smart to err on the side of compassion and caution and being kind to other people. And I remind you guys that every time we're on a show together. But UC Health is trying to get the word out more about men's health. And one way they're doing that is just having conversations with real men about real men's health issues. Besides seeking health care, there's a lot of ways that you can do a better job of taking care of your overall health. And there's a lot of good steps to do that. Try to make it easy as possible. That's what UC Health does. And they get it done with online scheduling and other convenient features available in the UC Health app. So download that to get started. Even if you're feeling unhealthy, it's important to go just because. Go get screening. Go get blood work. Get your vaccinations. Advice on preventative stuff. All of the things that are important to do. And ask yourself and ask your friends the question. Do you get regular screenings? What do you want your health to look like in 10 years? All these things are important to make sure you're doing okay. There's a lot of people out there that love you, and they don't want to see you feel sick. They don't want to see you feel sad. They don't want to see you in trouble. And I'm an open book, and it's funny. Anybody that knows me or is my friend knows that you can call me 24/7. If you need me, I will come running. A young man named Max Lacroix knows that I will literally come running if ever needed. So just make sure you're reaching out and doing the right things and taking care of yourself and looking out for your friends too. Let's talk about your tomorrow. Join the men's health conversation at uchealth.org/men's health.
Yep. Our DMs are always open.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you reach out to me anytime you want.
Good chance we'll probably tell you to go to UC Health. And
100%. 100%.
to get to UC Health,
Yeah.
make sure you got a Toyota to get you where you're going.
That's a transition. That's a transition right there, Rudo.
You're learning. You guys are learning.
Darn it, man.
Thankfully, the hospital is in the city, so it's not very hard to get to. But if you do want to go on adventures too, Toyota has 17 different all-wheel drive vehicles to get you in the mountains, in the city, out in the desert, wherever you might be.
Hell, driving in Denver is an adventure right now.
It can be sometimes, I tell you, buddy. You drivers out here lost your minds in this city.
Yeah, seriously.
Toyota will protect you from those. They can't stop them from crashing into you, but they will protect you. So at least you got that going for you. You can go get yourself a Toyota, your local Front Range Toyota stores. It's not just the official vehicle of DNVR, it's the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche. So jump in one today at your local stores, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corn Toyota and Boulder, Group Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevens Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevens Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche is Toyota.
We got Coach coming up in just a second. Does anybody want to talk any longer about the primary, secondary assists?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up one thing.
Yeah.
And that, look, the reality of the NHL is goal scoring is the objective of the game.
Oh, yes.
So that's the most important part. You win games by scoring goals. The players who score the most goals tend to get paid the most. It's how the NHL financial structure works. I bring that up because if you are trying to play a little bit of money puck, if you are a team that is in a cap salary tight space, finding guys that produce points in other ways than goal scoring is a very, very effective way to do it. Look what the Avs have done with Casey Middlestat. They go out and find a guy who's breaking out. He's a pass-first player. He's going to end up with more assists than goals every single year, like a 2-to-1 ratio, really. And that's a guy that they extended for 3 years at under $6 million for a guy who right now looks like he could be a point-per-game player this year. Finding efficiency in goals is finding guys that create goals, not necessarily guys that score goals.
I love it, Ben. That's well said. I'm a big advocate of the entirety of a hockey play, and one of the reasons why I love watching hockey in person and not on TV is because I can see the whole thing develop. And gosh, there's a lot of goals where 4 guys could have helpers on that thing.
Yep.
So I think that's awesome. We had a good long chat with Coach Bednar today. He was in a chatty mood. We're going to go a little long today, but that's okay. You guys will hang with us for a few. Tiff, let's get to Coach, and then we'll kind of wrap things up when we come back.
Drouin and Miles Wood back out there and out of red.
Yeah.
How are they feeling?
I don't know. They were feeling good yesterday. I haven't heard anything today yet. I'll talk with the trainers when they get off, and they'll give me an idea what their timeline's looking like, but I don't have any information on it now.
How ready are you for us to stop asking you about that?
I'm ready. Been ready.
Coach, it seemed like there was a lot of good to take out of that last 40 minutes or last night, I guess. As I always ask you, how are you feeling the day after?
Yeah, I feel okay. I mean, it wasn't our best game, but we found a way to get the job done. Just gave up more than what we had in the previous handful of games. I thought our defending details and the some of the reads we were making last night was a little bit off compared to the first 3 games, so we gave up more, but we got a great goalie performance to kind of balance things out. And on the offensive side of it, a lot of it looked the same, which we're happy with right now, and we're able to carve out a win, not playing our best. We're going to move on and be better tomorrow night.
With Kakinen on waivers and claimed by Winnipeg, how did you ultimately make the goaltending decision, and what kinds of insights did you lean on from people like UC Park?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple, really. Like, when we picked Capo up, our goalies weren't playing that good. And it seemed like shortly after he got here, we tried to give him a good opportunity, played a game, and then our goalies went in, and I think both of them have been really strong over the last, handful of games each. So we can't keep 3, right? And we didn't get a great look at them because it was only 1 game and 2 in the minors. But the guys that we originally had here stepped up and played really well. So that's the decision. We don't have the time to be able to continue to play Capo and our guys and keep 3. So sometimes it's a timing thing. In this case, to me, our guys kind of made the decision easy for us, right? We don't have time to evaluate Capo deeply, and our guys played well, so hopefully that can continue. Yeah.
I know you said, you're just going game by game, so one bad game could change this, but has your kind of overall comfort level or confidence in Alex risen after the last 3 or 4 games that he's played?
No question. I mean, I didn't have any doubt that he could get there. I just wanted it to get there as soon as possible, right? And same thing with Noonan again. And Noonan's a guy that hasn't played a ton of games for us over the course of the last 3 years, right? So he's still a guy that has to prove himself. And but when you're stringing together solid games and giving our team a chance to win, that's what we want to see. The longer you do that, the more trust you get, and the more my confidence is going to be rising, And so, our recent past here now, I've liked our goaltending, and I think our team's getting the results largely in part because those guys have really elevated their games.
I know we're only 2 games in, but is it an advantage or a disadvantage to have this 4-game homestand with game, day off?
No. I mean, the schedule's laid out in front of us. We play them when they're scheduled, we're going to have next week, we're going to go do the same thing on the road, basically. So, it's our responsibility to play as well as we can and get some points at home.
It seems like Nate has really taken Casey under his wing. They're out here working all the time in optionals. Have you noticed, from when Casey got here, the difference just from then to now, maybe with the help of Nate from today?
Yeah, I mean, well, Casey had a big off season, right? He's the one doing the work. If I'm a skilled player and a guy coming in on this team, you're going to study Nate and go to work with Nate every chance you get because he's one of the best in the world. So it doesn't surprise me that they're spending more time together. Part of it is they're playing a lot more together now too, right? He's on the first power play, so they're they have to be in sync, and they have to spend time together and communicate and go to work together like they're doing today. I saw them run some shooting drills down here that'll mimic the power play in some instances, and no different than when Drew got here. If he's going to play with Nate, they're going to have to go to work on the ice together. So I'm not surprised by it. Do I think it's helping? Sure. Yeah, I think the more time they can spend together on and off the ice and be on the same page, the better off they're going to be in sync on the ice.
You made a comment last night about the coaching this iteration of team and learning this iteration of team learning how to win. You guys could theoretically have 3 players back in the lineup, within 2 days from now, 3 days from now. Is there an adjustment period to that, or is the thought that these are NHL regulars coming back in and we should be able to just go right away?
There'd be adjustment period for those guys coming in, but not for the rest of our team. Ultimately, not a lot changes. It should theoretically get easier for us because we're adding more offense into our lineup. We're adding guys in that when they're in tune with their game and our team game, that will make less mistakes on the defensive side. We'll be better on the offensive side. It's going to slot players in against the right types of competition where they can have success inside games. But like some of the lessons that we've learned and the habits that we're developing right now, those really don't change. Like we don't go and adjust our whole game plan because a guy or 2 or 3 or 5 is out of the lineup. There are adjustments, but what our team has learned is, how much attention to detail that we need to have in a game, how hard we have to work, how competitive we need to be. And to sort of carve out, it is a little bit of a different identity when guys are missing. Doesn't really change when they come back.
Logan O'Connor's points pace was trending upward before injury last year in an elevated role in particular, and it feels like that part of his game offensively has been quieter, even though he's still a big contributor in other ways. What have you seen in the offensive side of his game to start this year?
He's having a tough time putting the puck in the net. and the thing is like I don't think it's ever going to be real easy for OC. And knowing his career, he's kind of got hot in stretches before and cooled off and sort of back to the norm in other areas. It's almost like our team. You come out, you play an okay hockey, and you're not getting any results. It can be frustrating because it's the start of a new year, and he feels good and he feels healthy. I think he's playing great. I think he's contributing in a lot of different areas of our game. Would it be nice to see him get rewarded and chip some in and gain some confidence? Yes. Do I think when he does that he'll probably put a handful together over a 10-game period? Yes. So I'm not really concerned about it. I watch his overall game. The production will come. And even though that's not the primary purpose of his role in this team.
When some of these guys come back, you're going to have a lot of options with guys that have worked on that top power play unit. Could you see it being just fluid based off of who you're playing, of who fits best on that top unit moving forward?
I think when they're hot, you leave them. If it struggles, you replace somebody. We're not just going to change things up because guys are coming back into the lineup. If we feel like there's a better option in a certain position on it, we'll make the change. But we're looking for results on a nightly basis on that power play and have been for years, and we're getting some good results right now, so it might stay the same.
If you did have everybody together, it would probably be, I would think just with Casey, it's the deepest group of high-end forwards you've had since 2022. Do you see a world where you play the second unit a little bit more because you've got at least 2 or 3 guys who should probably be on the first unit as well?
I'd say yes, but depending on how the top unit's doing. If they keep clicking at 36%, then probably no. Because most of the power plays are ending because they're scoring, But yeah, I think you'll play the rested unit, if you got a deep second unit. We've never had I shouldn't say never, but it's not like we've had fully healthy. We could have a crop of players on the second unit that could be super dangerous in their own. So I don't think they have to play 2 minutes a night, but if the power play is scoring and scoring at that type of clip, then the first unit will continue to get the respect that they earn.
I guess when those guys come back, like Kovalenko and Ivan, they're probably going to lose their spots, but on the power play that is. But they've also killed penalties at different levels. Do you kind of get them involved there to maybe see if they can fit in a different role if they're playing in a different spot in the lineup?
Yeah. Ivan's if they're on the power play in practice, they're not getting a bunch of time on the penalty kill. We flip certain guys in there. You got to remember, you add guys back in the lineup, they kill penalties too, right? Val, 1, Wood, 2. Lecky coming back in, he kills penalties too. So we're not just going to kill you because you killed on your previous team. You have to beat someone out of the top 4, 5, 6 role in the penalty kill too. If you can do that, then great. Then we can distribute the ice time and separate it a little bit. But we're going to play. While managing ice time, we're going to play the top guys at those positions. Like that's all those positions are earned. They're not just handed out.
Last one, guys. We'll talk to Taze about playing through what he's dealing with. What do you, as a coach, how do you handle knowing your player is kind of dealing with that and the expectations that you have set for him? Just kind of that open conversation on how he's feeling and.
Yeah, I mean, I know it, so I don't hold him to as high as a standard as I would when he's healthy. You know, I'm still holding him to what I would consider a high standard of play. But if they don't feel 100%, you know, they're not going to be where you see their elite part of their game being. So it's just me making a decision. Then, well, is he better playing at 85%, or is it better putting somebody else in? And you know, the decision for Taser is pretty easy. He's better than other players at 85% of his game, and if it dips too far, then we'll give him a rest and put somebody else in. But he's feeling better now, you know. Like, I don't think you can expect a player to be at 100% of his game every night through 82 games. I think there's something to be said for battling through it and still trying to help your team. And if it gets to a point when they can't, then we make a different decision, kind of like OC last year.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
As always, he was chatty today, and I love that. Hey, we got to go real quick. Make sure you sign up at the link. Check our Instagram as well to get yourself in the running for a 43-degree bag. Hockey tomorrow. The Los Angeles Kings are in town. New shirt drop for you. The Good Stick Lecky. It's out there. Go get this little beauty. Let's go. Lecky, of course, back in the mix. We love seeing him. I don't think there was anything else I was supposed to say. Thank you very much for the kind comments in the Toyota chat. Thank you for Bet365 for being a awesome and wonderful sponsor and for making me some money. I do appreciate the extra because I need it right now. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet for the takeover, do so. If you're not a diehard, do that. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you do something nice for somebody else out there today. It doesn't have to be somebody you know. Be a good person. Go help somebody. Share the kindness, make somebody's life better, and call your mom. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.